Hello everyone, my name's Tony and welcome back to Fragdicted. In today's episode, we're going to be going over some new samples that have been sent to me from Rosa Salas. They're all fairly new on their website. I've been really excited to try these and let you know my thoughts on them. So stay right where you are. So again, thanks for joining me. Now, I do have a code for Rosa Salas, which is Fragdicted, so I'll leave that on the screen here for you. If you use that code on their website, you do get 10% off. So let's dive into these samples and let you know what I've got. The first one I've got through has actually been on their website for some time. It's called Wild Water, but this has been reformulated. So Wild Water is 016. So this is slightly stronger and longer lasting than it was previously. So what does it smell like? Let me get my card. Nice little touch. Rosa Salas spray cards. Let's give this a quick spray. So this is unmistakably Dior Sauvage. It is a very close copy in my opinion, and it's a little bit smoother than the EDT. It goes along a similar route to the EDP. You can really smell the orange though up front in this, which I don't think you get as much of in Dior Sauvage. So it's definitely got this citruses up the top, but then with that familiar woody, peppery base, the ambroxan heavy base that we're all used to. So if you're looking for something, I would say slightly fresher than Dior Sauvage and lasts just as long, is just, I would say, a little bit smoother than the EDT, then this is a great option. I recommended this to my cousin Kevin, he's been on camera with me, and he really enjoys this. He bought a full bottle on my recommendation and he really thinks it's good stuff, and it does last quite well too. So a great interpretation from Rosa Salas on this one. So next we have one called Gin Fizz, and this is 078, and this is a fairly new release from Vitor. It's their interpretation of Vodka on the Rocks by Killian. Now I will run through the notes on this one for you just to give you an idea of what is in it. I think the note breakdown is very interesting. I've not tried the original, so I've tried this and it is, I find, a really interesting fragrance. So in the top we have lemon, cardamom and apple. In the mid we have rhubarb and jasmine, and in the base we have sandalwood, oak moss and amber. So as you can see, a really interesting mix of notes. I took this to work and wore it for the day as my scent of the day, and I sprayed it in the showroom, and one of my work colleagues who sits about maybe 10-15 feet from me commented, "Have you just sprayed something and it smells really good?" I just wanted to mention it because the sillage must be pretty good if I'm getting someone comment on it from 10-15 feet away. But weirdly, I wouldn't say it's a beast. It lasts very well, but it's not something I find too much for other people. It's actually quite a soft, easygoing scent. This is actually really classy. It reminds me a little bit of Black Tie, another fragrance that I love from the brand. I can imagine wearing this in a similar setting to that, so a formal occasion. So it's citrusy, it's fruity, and I think it's really gentlemanly. If you don't like really dark resinous fragrances, you like fragrances that are quite bright and uplifting, this might be something that's worth trying. I really enjoy this, and I'm really intrigued to get my nose on the original to see if it's anything like it, because this is a winner for me. I love it. So that is Gin Fizz. Next we have another new fragrance, and this is called Shoreditch, and the code is 080. Now this is their interpretation of Bleecker Street by Bond No. 9. Let me run through the notes quickly with you. In the top we have violet leaves, blueberry, thyme and cassis. In the mid we have cedar, jasmine, cinnamon and patchouli. And in the base we have oak moss, suede, amber, vanilla and caramel. Now personally, I think the notes are a little misleading, not necessarily from Rosa Salas, but Bleecker Street in general. I've tried a sample of the original and I wasn't blown away by it. Now this is good, it feels the same to me, it feels like it's very close. But I just find it's a bit of a sort of citrusy, casual fragrance. I don't get all the caramel and the other things that go into it. Others might. That's just my opinion. Although this is a nice, pleasant, easy wear, it's not something particularly I'm blown away by. But I can see why others would like it, because it is pleasant, easy to wear, mass appealing. It's not a difficult fragrance to wear at all, actually. It would make a great office scent. But one thing, it did perform well. It didn't jump massively off my skin. It sits quite close to the skin, but it lasts well. So that is my take on Shoreditch. So if you like Bleecker Street or you like the sound of it, this is a great alternative to that. So the next one we're going to talk about is called Toxic. And the code on this is 079. Now this one I'm much more excited about. This is their interpretation of Intoxicated State of Mind by Kilian. Let me quickly run through the notes with you. It's got bergamot, coffee and cardamom in the top. In the mid it's got cinnamon, geranium, chocolate and nutmeg. And in the base it's got patchouli, tonka, vanilla and woody notes. So what does this smell like? This is a gourmand lover's dream. It's coffee and chocolate and spices and vanilla. It's sweet, but personally I don't find it too cloying. People that don't like things that smell a bit edible in fragrances might want to avoid this, because to me this is a gourmand lover's dream. It's very edible. It smells gorgeous. It smells a little bit like those coffee creams you used to get in the Roses tin. I used to love them, so that's probably why I really like this, because it reminds me a little bit of those. But the spices and the woods and the vanilla add this depth to it. It is an absolute monster on the skin. Let me just give this another spray. Yeah, see, it's the spiciness really comes through, but it just smells like chocolate. The chocolate note is really photorealistic. And the coffee, like I said, and the spices. I could go on about this, but I'll be repeating myself. I think I've hopefully put across what this one's like in a few words. But this is a great release from Rosa Salas, and something I personally really excited to wear in the colder months. I think this could be really cozy, something to wear with a big scarf and a coat. It smells absolutely class as well. It's really well blended. None of the notes seem scratchy or hard to take. They're just really smooth. It reminds me just a little touch of this, the coffee note in it. If you like things like Pure Havana or Pure Tonka, I think this is something that you would like too. So that is Toxic. So next I have a full bottle. This is something I was really excited about because Claire from the Smurfy Girly channel, I'll link her channel below, we did a live with the ladies and they all scented me and basically put across a recommendation for something that could be suited to my taste and what I'm like. And Claire mentioned Santal 33. When I found out that Vuitton was releasing his version of that, I thought, you know what, this is something I'm excited by. So I have the bottle, and this is called Santal Lush. I'm not really going to run through the notes with you because I'm sure many people are familiar with Santal 33, but this is beastly. It's a monster on my skin. It's sort of woody and ambery. It's got this slight herbaceous note to it as well. So it's fresh zinginess, but not citrusy. It's difficult to explain, but anyone that's tried it will hopefully know what I'm talking about. I haven't sprayed anything on today, so let's actually go for this. So yeah, see, I get this sort of almost like a cucumbery vibe from it. I know that's a strange thing to say, but this sort of minty cucumber in the opening, but then it's very woodsy, lots of wood, and quite unique, very unique in fact. Is there ambroxan in this? It smells like it's got some ambroxan into, whether that's coming from the woods, I'm not sure, but this is very, very good, and well worth trying. This reminds me a little of ambroxide. from Zara. I much prefer the Rosa Salas version. It's much stronger. The Soleil Lush has got much more going on, but it just has that base that feels familiar. That is good, really, really good, and definitely worth trying. Really excited to own this one. And thank you, Claire, for your recommendation. I personally don't think I need the original now I have this in my collection. I'm very happy with it. Now on to the next one. This one is the one I would say I'm probably most excited about. And that's because I think this will be a big success for Rosa Salas. Well, hopefully it will be. I know a lot of people love this DNA. And this one's called Hendon 081. And it's their interpretation of Leighton by PDM. I've worn this a couple of times. The sample was virtually full. I'm about halfway down. So I've had 2 decent wear-ins from it. It's got a really bright apple opening like the original. Actually brighter, I would say. It's stronger. It lasts forever on my skin. It is a projection monster. It literally fills a room. This is a beast mode version of the original. It really is. I've got various interpretations of this and I like them for different reasons. But if I want something that's really, really gonna fill a room and get me noticed, this would be the one to pick. And it just lasts forever on the skin. I won't go into the exact note breakdown or the exact scent profile because that's been done a number of times before. I have a good sized sample of the original, so I've tried the different interpretations. I've tried Royal Equestrian, I've tried Versailles by Pocket Scents, I've tried Perfume Parlour version, and obviously now I've got this. So I've got a few versions of this and I love it. The other thing I would say about this is that in the dry down, it gets that slight animalic DNA you get from the original. So it's got this muskiness, this almost dirty muskiness, right as the undertone that starts to come through well into the wear-in. But the opening is my favourite bit. It is just incredible. And that profile of the opening stays with it for a very long time. So this is a very solid release from Rosa Salas and I can't recommend this enough. This is another one that my cousin got as a sample and I think he's going to order, if he hasn't done already, a full bottle of this too because of the sample he received. So definitely full bottle worthy. Now just lastly, don't tell anyone I told you this, but I have a little release, maybe a future release from Rosa Salas. I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about it, but guess what, I'm going to, so don't tell him, shh. This one is called Musk Blanco. It's not out yet. I think he's planning to release it maybe later in the year. He's released a lot recently and it costs a lot of money to get these fragrances out onto the marketplace. So this is something I think he's planning on doing later on in the year. Now, my wife smelled all of the samples as they arrived and she took this and said, "This is mine, thank you," and walked off. So she's very impressed by it. She's given this a couple of good wear-ins. There's only a little bit left in the bottle there. This reminds me of a really clean, classy white soap. It is very unique. I've not smelled anything like it in terms of a fragrance. It's very close to like a Dove white soap or a shower gel, but I know that don't sound the best, but it's very clean and easy to wear and something that's so unique. I could see me wearing this when I've got smart jeans on, white t-shirt, and I'm just clean, ready to go out. You'd spray this on in hot weather or just to give yourself that sort of really clean feeling. So this does have a place, I think, on the market because again, it's nothing like anything else I've tried. Bex loves it. She has worn it to work, she's worn it to bed, and it really suits her. It's a great, great fragrance, and I hope that Vautour does get this release. So that's been my review of the Rosa Salas new releases. I hope you stuck with me. Thanks so much for all those that keep watching me and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. For those of you that are new, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, that'd be awesome. Leave a comment below. What's your favourite from Rosa Salas? Have you tried any of these that I've just mentioned? Don't forget to also hit that like button. There is just one last thing. Don't forget to keep smelling wonderful.